pressure.
You can raise any issue you want at school meetings. Pupils and teachers have equal status, and we all call each other by our first names. The adults, as well as the children, can have cases brought against them. The meetings deal with everyday issues, as well as occasional moments of unhappiness or anger.
Causes a lot of disruption. Val?
Yeah.
Perhaps boardrooms, parliaments and the UN could learn something from these meetings at the oldest children's democracy in the world. Visitors from all over the globe comment on its ability to resolve issues and make decisions, and are moved by its clarity, depth and compassion.
I think that I haven't discussed it with the other health and safety people on the list, but I think we probably will be doing what we normally do and going round on Thursday or Friday. But meanwhile, everybody else needs to remember that their rooms should be at least in a presentable state.
Well, yeah, the woodwork's missing its bolt croppers. You know, those big things like that you use for cutting padlocks, and someone borrowed them, and I can't remember who it was. They're very expensive, and it also means that you've got some Wally that can get into people's boxes, and it's really serious. So if people can keep your eye out, and if I find out that someone's actually nicked them, there is going to be big trouble.
I'm going to go to Ipswich on Saturday. Obviously I have 4 spaces in my car if anybody wants to go to Ipswich, and possibly do a studio visits on Sunday for the open studios, the artists' open studios.
Living in a democratic community encourages children to express their feelings and be sensitive to the feelings of others. If things break down, there are ombudsmen who will help you sort out problems or bring them to the meeting.
Ombudsmen, there's 5 of them and they rotate every 5 weeks, and there are 3 permanent ombudsmen, which is me, Nathan and James, and we're just there, so we're people who can always go to. If you're not quite sure who's ombudsman, you can always go to us. But anyone can act as an ombudsman if you're over 12. So, I mean, it's just anyone can help you sort out your problems.
Generally, an ombudsman is someone that settles disputes outside of the meeting. You know, somebody's stood on someone's foot by accident. It's not, you know, always best to bring it up and get a case about it, because it can be solved outside. A lot of the times, most things can be solved by an ombudsman. Even if it's somebody who's hit somebody or bullying, you can usually solve it with an ombudsman. But sometimes cases do have to go to the meeting.
Summerhill doesn't consider its fines as punishments. They're more about justice. They're expressions of dissatisfaction over particular actions and a deterrent for the future. The discussion is as important as the fine. You really listen when your friends tell you that you're out of line.
Okay, there's 2 proposals against each other, one that they can't swim after the meeting and one that they are banned from skating all of tomorrow. All in favour they can't swim after the meeting. All in favour they're banned from skating tomorrow. It's carried, they can't go swimming after the meeting. Sorry, all against all. They can't swim after the meeting. Business closed.
Summerhill doesn't aim to produce specific types of young people with specific assessed skills or knowledge, but to provide an environment in which children can define who they are and what they want to be. Neil once said, "I hold that the aim of life is to find happiness, which means to find interest. Education should be a preparation for life." The Summerhill graffiti wall is the only place you can write on walls. If you write anywhere else, you can get fined as well as having to clean it off. There's no censorship about what you write unless it offends or upsets somebody else. Freedom without license is one of Summerhill's founding principles. Other signs, of course, reflect a more serious side of school life. Exams. Most pupils choose to take them. So after such an idyllic childhood, how well prepared for life are Summerhill pupils? Many have gone into the arts. Many Summerhillians also shine in the sciences. In fact, over the generations, Summerhill's produced people in just about every kind of occupation. Geoffrey Robertson QC, world-renowned human rights barrister and judge, in his defence speech of Summerhill at the Royal Courts of Justice, summed it up. Neil's system has had a profound effect on human rights law as it affects children. It pioneered the idea, which is fundamental to Summerhill, that children have rights, that they're not owned by parents or teachers, that it's a crime to assault them physically, and a serious mistake to force them to act against their will, except out of consideration for others. These tenets were seen as absolutely revolutionary in the 1920s. They were described as anarchic. They are now to be found in the 1989 Convention on the Rights of the Child, ratified by 189 nations.